here we go. Okay, testing. Okay, let's try to get this to work. All right, here we go.
Whoops.
Okay, how are we doing? Are we connected?
Can you see me normally?
Yes, except you're
You see
sideways.
me normally? Or? Oh, I am sideways, okay.
I do. You're just
The thing is,
sideways.
the problem is I'm charging my phone. Okay, fine.
All right, good. That's good. So tasting in Torah. You got some wine? Or am I drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking. I got, this is on your, not recommendation, but I asked you what I should drink out of the three that I got, and you told me Syrah. So I'm drinking very slowly this.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same, so just go for the more interesting one.
Yes, I never had this one. It's very good.
Yeah, that one is very impressionable.
You know, it's funny. These are like a little pricier in the States, but I got like 3 of these for 100 shekels, which is like $10 a pop. Ooh, Likud official just joined us. Is that?
You never know who runs that account.
That's true. That is true. Help me! I have corona. I'm about to die. Who is this guy who just said that?
I have no idea who the only little boy is. It's probably someone from Mag and David.
I was gonna say it's got to be one of your students.
Probably Q. It's probably Q.
Who?
No,
Israeli apple wine.
Somebody. It's the nickname of somebody at Mag and David. I'm not going to say who.
Gotcha. All right, keep them. What's it called? Anonymous.
Keep your closer and your students farther away. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so how's it going over there?
I barely leave the house. I leave the house like once a day just to get some air. New York, Brooklyn. We're talking about Pesach's around the bend, and I have no idea where to go for Pesach. I might just be eating home, like just buying ready-made food or just cooking. And I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Right? Like, I don't even know if I can go to I was going to go to Elizabeth, New Jersey.
You can always listen to the Israeli government when they're telling Israelis to fly back to Israel. I don't know if they mean fly back to Israel and sit in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Well, they mean if you live in Israel, then go back. I mean, I'm an Israeli citizen, but I don't live there now, so they won't be bothering me. Like, Americans are saying, come to back to America.
Correct.
Saying come back to Israel. I mean, come to America, right?
I don't know. Listen, that's what they're saying. If you want, I don't know. I have this weird feeling that this whole thing is going to be solved by either Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is like a week from now, or definitely by Pesach. By solved, I mean just, we'll be able to kind of go back to at least.
I mean, but look, even if you manage to find the cure, to manufacture and reproduce it fast enough, at least to save the people in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Right? That's not necessarily going to be easy. I mean, think about the miracle of Hanukkah, right? Like, okay, we won, but it's going to take 8 days to get the oil.
The oil in this. Well, in this case, they're saying it's interesting. It's almost like one of these, like I think you mentioned it, like a book that supposedly they found some vaccine, which is like an old malaria drug from like the 1940s or something, and supposedly it's I forget what it's called. Actually, Elon Musk from Tesla posted about it on his Twitter, and then like it's just like and he posted it very kind of nonchalantly, and all of a sudden and then Trump today he made a speech about it and he said this treatment is kind of supposedly effective. I forget the name of it. Hydro. I can't even like read this. Chloroquine. It's basically chloroquine, hydro, whatever. It's like a long name. And so Musk said that supposedly this is effective.
Tzvi.
Yeah, what's up?
Look at the comments.
Yeah, the cure is actually being researched in Israel. That's on a separate thing. They're researching in Israel. They're saying that even if they come up with it like today, they still have to take like 90 days to test it and go through all the proper, the World Health Organization testing and all these things. You can't just like, we have the cure, here we go, unless you want to be an experimental case.
Something. I mean, again, you do have to be careful with all the things you're seeing, because you know what they said about Rav Kanievsky
Yeah,
saying all the yeshivas need to stay open, and my friend who actually like knows personally is connected, he said that's not actually the story.
yeah,
So, like you say, there's a lot of fake news out there.
that's true. I mean, this is like no, this is like in mainstream here. I'll just read this here real quick.
Sure.
Hydro, chloroquine, sold under the brand name Plaquenil, and also used to treat arthritis and other ailments, was determined to be effective in killing the deadly bug in laboratory experiments. Forbes is like a reputable
Yeah.
publication, reported findings in March 9th in the Clinical Infectious Diseases Journal. We predict that the drug has a good potential to combat the disease. So it's like a treatment. It's not necessarily a cure, but it's more of a treatment. See, China Academy of Sciences in Wuhan, blah, blah, blah. A total of 36 patients, including 20 treated individuals and 16 infected controls, were enrolled in the study, led by Didier Raoult, an infectious disease expert from l'Institut Hospitalo Universitaire in Marseille, in France. So, France is one of the epicenters, so you figure, these guys want to hop on that. Each person was given 600 milligrams of Plaquenil. This is this thing, the malaria stuff, per day. Found that 50% of the treated group turned from positive to negative with the virus by the third day, and by day 6, they figured it was up to 70%. Of the 20 test patients, 6 who were treated with both Plaquenil and the antibiotic azithromycin showed impressive results, with 5 testing negative at day 3. All 6 of them tested negative at day 6. Despite its small sample size, our survey shows that high hydroxychloroquine treatment is significantly associated with viral load reduction and disappearance of COVID-19 patients, and its effect is reinforced by, this antibiotic. So basically, it's like a combination of this thing and the antibiotic, supposedly. I don't know. I mean, Trump made a speech about this today, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. 99% received this. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Everything is going crazy. I was
Yep.
listening to what they're supposedly doing in England, which I haven't double checked. That they're basically saying anybody who's in the endangered, area, like in terms of their age or whatever, they should go into self quarantine, and everybody else continues as normal, because it's not
Yeah.
really going to do anything to you.
Yeah. Somebody's writing another thing about Israel, yeshiva, something.
Yeah, no, which is really,
Listen, there's
yeah.
a lot of people that
I
are
was
not
talking
listening.
to Akiva. My friend Akiva was saying that he has a friend who prays in Reb Chaim Kanievsky's minyan. There's only like 13 people allowed into that minyan.
Yeah,
And he said that that's not, everything's closed down. That's not true, but people will lie just to get likes and shares.
of course. Of course.
Yeah, like that article really enraged me. So like I'm glad to hear that it's not true.
Yeah.
Uncle of David Cohen put out a psak saying that you can't go to shul. All these, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah, there's a lot of big rebbeim who people respect that are they're realizing like I said, live to daven another day,
Yeah, but the thing, which there's something which is unfortunately typical of certain parts of ultra-Orthodox Israeli society, where they
Yeah.
create this us versus them, and they turn the them into the historic nemesis, which has always tried to stop us from learning Torah, and they will never stop us.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not the issue.
Yeah.
It's not us against them. We're not trying to stop you from learning Torah. We're trying to help you live.
Yeah.
And because this is interesting, I think Natan Slifkin in his blog, The Rationalist Judaism, he really went into a lot of depth on this topic, because he personally has his own story with that community after his books were banned and whatever. So it's kind of like he's very involved in that. One of the things he pointed out is how Orthodox Judaism in Israel, the ultra-Orthodox Haredi, has turned to mysticism in many ways. Like, let's say Rav so-and-so was in the hospital, and somebody paid an obscene amount of money to the doctor to have the needle that the rabbi was injected with, the IV, and frames it. Like, what Litvak rationalist, who would do that?
Can I tell you something? That's not even mysticism. That's actually there's real mysticism, and it's not even heebie-jeebie. It's just. I'll tell you something. Like, to me, it's funny when you say rationalist Judaism. That's an oxymoronic. It's an oxymoronic term statement. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we put on boxes on our heads. We eat. Huh?
you should really hear his talk on rationalist versus mystical Judaism.
No, I
Now,
get it. I'm just saying that our whole meaning, like to me, again, it's especially as about Shuba. To me, that our whole everything we do has a, if the world is looking at it from the outside, it looks heebie-jeebie. The whole thing is heebie-jeebie. Our religion is heebie-jeebie. But what you're describing, this whole
yeah,
thing with the needles and this and that, is like,
that's
what's up?
how they look at us. But in terms
Yeah,
of how we look at the world,
sure, it's all
there
relative.
is a distinct difference between a rationalist approach
Correct.
to a mystical approach.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
if you'll tell me, like that thing that's been going on, this Mekuba rabbi has been going on in the internet. People are saying you mix, what was it? You take some clove
Oh, that's
and
something
ginger
else.
and
Yeah,
and you mix it and this is like my roommate was telling me this is a Torah-based solution. I'm like, no,
yeah.
it's not. It does not
No,
go
it's not.
anywhere in the Torah. It is
No,
not Torah,
it's not.
right? What it might be, as I said to him, it could be a conventional knowledge that was recorded by a Moroccan mystic.
It could be not even no, not even that. It could be something that, like, let's say a real like a legit Kabbalist. He
But what makes this Kabbalah? Where in
no,
Kabbalah? I've seen some Kabbalistic
no.
literature.
I don't
Where
mean
would this show up?
what I mean is
As
not.
a
It's not Kabbalah. What?
how could this possibly be something that's passed down in Kabbalah that will protect you from this?
I don't mean it's passed down in Kabbalah. What I mean is a person, a mekubal, who basically came up with this in our modern time. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
that's what
if
people and people are following whoever this person is because he's given them insightful advice or whatever it
see,
is, and
that's mystical,
yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
right?
sure.
Not rationalistic. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no reason why anybody at the CDC should give this the time of day. What do you
No,
mean?
obviously not. Obviously not.
So you could be
I
saving
will
people lives. Check it out. What's there to lose, right?
I will tell you that there are on the other hand, in terms of the not the cures necessarily or treatments, there's mikubalim in Israel that are just talking about, for example, like they're bringing in sources from the Torah, from the Tanakh, from Midrashim, and all these things, just to kind of figure out what's really what is Hashem trying to tell us. But that kind of anybody who's really tapped in can kind of think about and for example, right now, like it's incredible that the state of Israel. This is the first time since the state of Israel was founded that everything will be closed on Shabbat. This is the first Shabbat in the history of the state of Israel that
I
everything
thought
will be
that go
closed.
around, but is it really a Shabbat? Like, is transportation really the what defines Shabbat, or are there other things going on?
No, meaning, but the thing is, we just had a politician who wanted to force, who basically is trying to create a situation with, it's called Mifarhesia, and now
Well,
Hashem is just spoiling his whole plan. You know what I'm saying?
I remember speaking of fasulia.
Yeah.
I remember Yitzchak when I was in high school, and
Yeah.
we had the second Intifada started. So that was right after Oslo B, second Oslo, when Camp David, whatever, when Ehud Barak was saying, sure, we're going to have public transportation on Shabbat. And he was like, "Em ratu tachbura tziburit b'Shabbat." And now he's going anywhere,
I'm on your side.
right? I've heard this talk before. But
Sure.
what did that achieve? Did that change anybody's position on it?
No, it's not. It's not changing position, but I think it is significant that again, there's a big. I was talking to my father today, and he goes to me, and I mentioned Avigdor Lieberman. He goes, yeah, but Avigdor Lieberman could still watch TV, and I said, yeah, let him watch TV in his house, but for him to force society to publicly desecrate Shabbat, even if society is not Shomer Shabbat, even if most of Tel Aviv doesn't care or Haifa doesn't care or whatever, But it's when things go into public in a Jewish country, in a basically Eretz HaKodesh, in a holy space, in a holy land. That's when it's like human beings cannot stop this guy from doing this, and that's when Hashem, so to speak, has to step in. I mean, this is just my,
Look,
so to speak.
I've noticed in life, there's always the personal message that we can take from what happens to us, and then there's the bigger picture about why it's happening. In terms of the bigger picture, I don't know if you could argue that that's what's happening. In terms of what that individual person could learn from it, that could possibly happen.
I hope so. I hope so because the guy was about to, we almost saw a coalition with, or our internal enemies
No,
instead.
there was that funny picture that was going out with a bat saying "the bat that saved me,"
Yeah,
a
right.
romance by Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh my
You know
God.
what the reference to? It's Austin Powers.
Yeah. The spy who.
That was really funny.
Which Austin Powers was taken actually from James Bond, the title.
Of course.
No, but I'm saying like you're saying Austin Powers. It's like I was watching, by the way, the scene. They're doing the parody scene, so it's like they're showing the scene from Doctor Evil when he presses the buttons and all the people fly off their chairs and they get burnt, like incinerated. And then they show the actual scene from the Bond movie, how these guys are sitting around and he just like offs one of these guys and he electrocutes. It's amazing how like accurate. They don't make movies like this anymore, like where everything. This wasn't CGI. These people were actually in the comedic version, like thrown from their chairs into like a pit or wherever they fell, and there's like smoke coming out of the chair. And I'm like, wow, this is like impressive what they did with that movie, with Austin Powers. Like they really nailed it, with the cat and this, Mr. Bigglesworth and all this stuff. I was like, wow, like they really went,
Speaking, I mean, the effects that they would do in Star Wars back in the day, like in the 70s and early 80s,
it's amazing.
were more than the CGI.
Did you see the behind the scenes? It's incredible.
Yeah, they're just driving on a picnic table in the backyard, right in the driveway, and they're making it blow up as the car passes through all the bottom. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it was all made in Lucas's like his farm or whatever, his studio, his private thing.
Literally. His garage. It was in the garage, and they did a much better job with actually building models and flying with cameras. I mean, the CGI can clean that up a little bit, but the new Star Wars that are just all CGI, they just
If you want to see an impressive behind the scenes of how they made a movie, watch behind the scenes of Gremlins, the movie from the 80s.
Oh my, I love that movie.
Watch the behind the scenes of how they made those Gremlins and this, and it is that one, and also the Ninja Turtles from the first one, the first 1990s Ninja Turtles movie with the suits and everything, the robot. Yeah. It's like this is why like Hollywood is just like today. It's just to me is a joke.
There's some really big, fierce critiques against the usage of CGI, where things seem to be getting worse instead of better. Right? They even pointed out how in Marvel there's a huge difference between the Black Panther in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and the Kingdom of Wakanda or whatever it was called, right? Yeah. Because in one of them, there's a person actually moving, and they just CGI'd the suit, as opposed to they CGI'd everything, and they just looked like there's no gravitas to the move. It's just they're flying in the air.
Correct.
So what's going on? Yeah.
I was gonna say the only good CGI I've seen recently was in Avatar, like necessary CGI where it's like.
Yeah, I heard he's trying to come out with 3 more movies. James Cameron. Nobody knows why.
What do you mean nobody knows? Why?
What could you possibly improve on that to make in terms of a sequel? That would be worth.
First of all, probably the tech. In terms of the 3D and
3D and CGI, and the plot was good, and it's done. Like, what could you possibly make it be better?
Well, it's not
from Earth round 2.
Well, no, you see that the plot is, if you remember the movie at the end, the plot is not necessarily done. They revive the guy, and now there's
after hunting like an old tribesmen, and everything's going to be good. They're going to be connected to nature.
Yeah, but then what happens to
round 2, and they'll fight them again? They'll go to Earth and learn from Earth. I don't know. Like,
I was gonna say, but the question is, what do the human beings learn from this? Like, where does that, where did we go from here? So, I don't know. I was very interested to see this. Like, it's been what, like 10 years more since that first one came out. So what's up?
It's been more than that. The movie, it came out at least 10 years ago.
2008, something like that.
Yeah. 8 or 9.
Anyway, so what were you asking?
So, in terms of wine, what's going on? This is our Shiloh Merlot. I really just finished the bottle, opened it yesterday. It's really nice.
So I think Ami Hailuri will be happy because we're helping him with the marketing for Shiloh, myself and my partner, and he actually just posted a video about the Shiloh.
By the way, he sends me on WhatsApp.
Good.
Yeah,
because you participated in his in that event that we did in Brooklyn, and it was very good. He came. This was like 2 years ago, and he came to the States, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do an event. Let's do some Torah, some wine," and we did a very nice event with you. You were there. There was a rabbi of Malay Levona,
Rav Shchori.
and I spoke a little bit, whatever, and Amichai spoke. Yeshua spoke really, really well. It was very entertaining.
He came late and brought out all his props. I remember that.
Dude, you know what, man? He schlepped Moti Shabbat from Muncie. He was still in his Shabbos clothing, in his gartel, and his this, and his hat, and he rocked it, man. The guy is a rock star. He's really a rock star.
The interesting thing about that event was that the sound was really terrible.
It was awful.
But because we have professional equipment, it's actually better on video than it was in live.
Baruch Hashem, my friend Shlomo Weprin is an amazing video guy, and he brought
He ate very well.
Yeah, and we gave him some nice compensation. Let's put it that way, non-monetary compensation. What else is happening with the wine? Yeah, listen, we have in this whole insanity, you know what? I think anybody who's in the liquor business is gonna be doing a-okay. I don't recommend alcoholism, but you know what? People are gonna drink, whether it's just at home and they're just trying to take the edge off of this.
I bought 9 bottles for Pesach.
You bought
I just finished one of them now.
Listen, people are trying to take the edge off, or Pesach's coming up, so people. Who knows? Maybe you won't be able to leave your house. So you might as well stock up now.
Right. I mean, I could go tomorrow. I'm just trying to stay free of people in the supermarket.
Mm-hmm. My roommate's in the States now, but there's like a bunch of matzah that I can constipate myself with on top of their.
Even be able to get back to Israel?
Listen, again, if this whole thing, God willing, blows over by, I'm telling you, this is like a really bold and kind of optimistic prediction on my part. Speaking of heebie-jeebie, I got it. It's not because I think so. It's because there's a rabbi in, you probably know of him, Rabbi Nir Ben Artzi in the Tivot, and he's just been saying that this whole thing is gonna blow.
I have my reservations about it.
He's saying it's a patch. He's saying it's basically a patch from Hashem, and it's a wake-up call, which I tend to agree. It is a wake-up call for the world, because there's just these things that I've been talking about on my podcast, which I have been imploring you to watch about the markets and all these things, and society can't keep going like this. Society can't keep going with this, inflating these the economy artificially, and all. I go into detail about all this stuff, and getting a nice slap on the head. I don't know. We'll see. B'ezrat Hashem, this thing will solve itself. But
yeah, I mean, look, I'm seeing all the people saying here a Kabbalist now is saying, "Hold on tight, Mashiach's around the corner." I mean, you can.
That's something else. That's something else. I don't know.
The dangers. I just got one right now. Just the dangers of those things failing. I mean, look, we are all seeing the signs. It's Yemot HaMashiach. There's no question about it.
Sure.
Right? But is it going to happen now in Pesach? I mean, we hope so. No. I'm saying, but the fact that people are saying, well, here's the sign and it's going to happen, and then what happens if it doesn't?
No, I think what's happening right now, people have to be emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, this is like the, so to speak, the beginning of the ramping up of a process that might culminate. Definitely
the process has been going on for a while.
It's been going on for a while, but people are still, they still, up until this point, they haven't been in the lens, meaning the only people who are conscious about this stuff is actually a small percentage of even the Orthodox world. If you talk to a lot of Orthodox people in America, for example, they're just like, yeah, just live your life. Or, there's a reason why they're like scared of it because of what happened with, Shabtai Tzvi and that whole episode. And it's, they're very skittish about like being too, Mashiach conscious. You see, the only people that care really about that is Chabad.
You know what it's called when you're too skittish religiously?
What?
Chaskiddish.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's called. I Hasidim, but I don't believe them. You know
what it's called when you're supposed to avoid making puns? Hester pun.
It's terrible. Panovich, yeah.
The hiding of the face, or the
you
hiding.
You should go to Panovich Yeshiva.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
I
they
know that.
closed all the yeshivas, so you can't go there anymore. Sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, so I mean, I don't know. I think we're just getting our eyes open and we're being prepared for something. Society is Jewish society, non-Jewish society.
In the words of Vanilla Sky, open your eyes.
When we are both cats, exactly.
Yeah,
Coincident.
exactly. That movie was quite a cruise, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? That scene where he's just in Times Square and it's empty. It like
Right.
that's what
Yep. Yep. That's
I,
been one of those memes now.
I have a friend who lives in Malaya Dumim, and he sent a picture. He's in Frankfurt, Germany now, and he sent pictures of like the train station and the tram and this and that. It is dead. It
Well,
is.
I haven't been more than just around the block in the past few days.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Like, but Flatbush, you see people in the street. I mean, we're keeping distance from people.
Yeah. No, I saw people in the street today. I saw actually a lot of elderly people in Talpiot. I was on my way to the what's it called, the supermarket. It's because I think the elderly people at this point they're just kind of like, we lived through wars, man, and like World War II and '67, and like so there's some like Holocaust survivors. They're like, come on, man, like screw you.
I
Like,
mean, this is a little bit different.
of course it is. No, but to them it's like, whatever. My mother told me my grandmother said if they're there's like this like kindergarten for old people run by Chabad in Brooklyn, and they closed it. And my grandmother actually said that if it would be open, they would all go. Like they don't care. They're just like whatever. We're all like in our 80s and 90s. Okay, like whoop de do. Like they would go if they could go, they'd go, but they can't. It's just like whatever.
Okay.
They should be.
Another,
They should be well.
it's interesting when you watch how um, let's say, unforeseen circumstances changes the market. Like right now, online platforms are booming,
Yep.
right? Because that's just the reality. It's kind of like, in evolutionary terms, that's called that's the chaos part, the
Yep.
chaotic part, the random selection. So like this is a great example because people say like evolution can't be random. I'm like, that's not the point. The random part is which situation presents itself as in which certain characteristics find themselves to be useful, right? So like this is chaotic, right? It's
Hmm.
random, but
Yeah.
in this random situation, the selection is going to be in favor of those platforms which allow us to continue working, which is
Yep.
online marketing,
Yep.
online interface, all that stuff.
Yep.
Museums, I mean, my museum business was on the point of about to be booming,
Hmm.
and suddenly museums are closed.
But you know what Gary Vaynerchuk said, and you can take a lesson. Use this time to revamp what you're doing and to what is it? Expand your network. And then when this stuff when this stuff ends, you will like you'll be shot out of a cannon. Like all the people who are like have these non-online or like half online businesses or non-online businesses that
I'm
you'll
wondering if
revamp.
I should work on my YouTube now, but just I'm
Yeah,
so caught up with a whole bunch of things. I guess I'll start next week.
yeah,
But I got to come up with some good content which wouldn't require too much editing.
yep. Listen,
So
I
maybe,
mean,
well, first of all, we're going to upload this,
yeah.
all right? But other than uploading, I don't know what we're going to call this. Coronavirus.
Listen, I've been doing. I'll tell you what we can call it because I've been doing two of these a day on my Nation of Israel Facebook Live, literally two
Mhm.
of these a day, and each one is like has like it's like an hour and a half long on average, and it has like 500 views,
Put up
600
a
views.
camera and just talk. Like I don't have what to talk about. If I'm teaching, I'm great. If I'm
Yeah,
not teaching, you just pontificate.
yeah, no, like I read. There's like this website that talks about the markets. It's like these funny, dark humor bloggers, and then I get into what I just was mentioning to you with, which is like the spiritual, aspect and kind
So
of
you're getting content from somewhere and responding to it.
what's up.
So you're getting content from somewhere and responding to it.
Yeah, that's basically it. But I'm not just respond. It's more like it's like a yeah, it's like a glorified reaction video where I also give my own opinion and I also I put like obviously humor into it and all these kind of it's like Ben Shapiro Makubal version of Ben Shapiro. I don't know what you want to call it. You know what I mean? Without the ads. I don't know. I don't know how to categorize it any better than that. But obviously, I get way less viewers than him. But you know, just the beginning.
Here, like, we can just do comments just on all the coronavirus memes.
Fake
Here,
news memes.
reminder, 9 p.m. is the time to remove your day pajamas and put on your night pajamas on.
Yes.
Like, some of them, I'm getting some stuff.
By the way, there's people just posting like, can you post in the comments the seventh picture on your photo, in your phone on your photos. So for some reason, the seventh picture on my phone, I don't even know where I got this picture from. I think somebody sent it on WhatsApp.
Do that. You know what I do? I just take a screenshot and then edit it. It's like people bother me.
Yeah.
Can you send this to me? OMG, can you send this to me?
Yes.
I'm like, why are you bothering me? Like, just screenshot or download it or whatever.
You know what picture I ended up finding? It was a picture of Smeagol holding a toilet paper roll, and it says, "My precious."
Here, Nehemiah Safe, quarantine jams. Dude, the stuff that's coming out in Israel is priceless. The only thing is, by the time someone translates it,
Yeah, that girl that talked about homeschooling.
Day one. Did you see the drone taking the dog out for a walk?
That is, yeah, I saw that. That's hilarious.
Who's taking the picture?
What's up?
So who's taking the picture?
Who's taking the picture?
Who is this guy? Ari Brown. My Abba just tagged me on something. What is this?
And this wonderful journey that we're going to be taking today together.
This guy's
home one way, another.
Who's your friend Jason Master?
Guy in his house is dressing up. He's showing you a picture of the Temple Institute booklet showing you the Mishkan and Shiloh. That's right. Now. I'm gonna tag you so
you said, yeah. Can you please send that to me? Because I'm like going berserk trying to figure out a nice design.
First of all, I have the book here.
Can you?
That book's in my storage, which is not so.
Can I find any of these pictures online? The stuff you're talking about?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think I even showed it on one of our tasting in Torahs. Maybe
because I used a picture from what I did was I did there's like an amazing 3D rendering at the ancient Shiloh website, and I just figured out how to kind of like walk around in that environment.
I have not seen that one.
And I took a screenshot. It's really great. It's amazing. I took a screenshot.
Now on Google Photos, I just wrote Mishkan Shiloh Machon HaMikdash. I did not find that painting. Let me see if I just write Mishkan Shiloh and I Google it. Okay. I'm looking. Just pictures of Shiloh. Just pictures of Shiloh.
Mention you in the comments. Let's see.
Yeah, I just tagged you on this guy in his house. I'm not going to watch it now.
Oh, this guy's just showing like a map. Oh my God, this is really funny. Shalom, welcome to the beautiful side of Shiloh. While traveling to get through biblical sites, oh, this is a whole thing over here. Jugs and stuff. This is really cool. Whoa, maybe I can like post this. Why is he wearing a tunic?
Because he wants to look biblical.
Oh my God, but he looks more like Greek or Roman. Interesting.
Listen, don't ask too many questions. Let him do his thing.
I'm just asking questions.
Maybe we can do some of these videos, man. We can just like.
Yeah, no, I can ask him if I could use this maybe a video.
Planning right now a video session for Aish New York because our tour was canceled. So I got all these props. Let me just give you an example. Here's this guy, right? So I was planning on getting this thing for the family tours where we're talking about death and Anubis, and Anubis is the jackal god of death. So I got this mask. Right now, this is creepy as heck, right?
It's very creepy. It looks like what's his name? The Batman, the version of what's his name?
Oh my gosh, still one with George Clooney?
No. It's the one with the British guy. What the hell's his name? The actor. No. Oh my God. Begins. Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Who's the guy? The guy we played in The Machinist. He was American Psycho. Hello. What's his name?
Oh, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Dear Lord. Like.
That's the when people say Batman now, unless you're thinking DC, I guess that's the one you're thinking of.
You look like the Christian Bale.
But it's creepy, right? It's really
very
creepy.
Yeah.
Should I just keep it on? And I told people this is my Tinder picture. Joke, but it's fun. I don't have Tinder, but it's just funny.
Just don't tell people you're on Tinder.
People ask me, so what's your political orientation? I go, woof. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of woof, I have a feeling. I think Bernie Sanders said that he just checked out of the campaign.
So who are we left with?
We're left with creepy / dopey, which is Biden versus
Biden and
Biden. Oh yeah, Biden said that he might appoint he was gonna work very, very hard to appoint a black female as his vice president.
like, here's the thing. Like, listen, we're not racist, we're not sexist, we're not chauvinist. We just want somebody who's qualified for the job in terms of what they are capable of offering the country. Intersectionality is not going to make it. Like,
No.
if you happen to have somebody who is a female black woman who is qualified, then great.
Yeah, Condoleezza Rice.
What if there's somebody who happens to be a white male, okay, or black? Who cares what their genitalia is? Like, who cares? Are they qualified for the job? That's all that matters.
Can I tell you something? When Obama was running for president in 2008, there were white people who voted for him, and they said that they voted for him
because they feel guilty for slavery.
because they feel guilty for slavery. So it only stands to reason that this whole mentality has gotten worse in the last 11 years, to the point where these people, they want to make themselves bittul. They want to nullify themselves out of existence. And this is how you do that. You know what I mean? As much as they are like self-preserving, and now they're saying we have to close the borders because of Corona and this and that.
It's philosophically unsound.
Of course. Of course it's unsound. What, you want these people to be sound?
That's the point. Good. Now, I'm just thinking, should I open the Shiraz now, or
Do what you got to do, man. See, our friend says, thank God Bernie's out, Trump 2020. See,
yeah, that's in master.
the Syrian Jewish community is very, and I'm saying this I mean this in the best way possible. They're very, very simple, very straightforward.
That means you can't overcomplicate them because they'll punch you in the face.
Exactly.
Like, well, cut the crap. Let's keep this simple. This is right. This is wrong. And then I don't need the fancy arguments.
Oh, Bobby, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know?
That's actually it's so funny. Like, you make these jokes, but the Brooklyn Syrian Jewish community actually, when they came to America, they were very much together with
Italians.
Yes. So there's these similarities, but it's
Bobby,
not.
Joey, Tommy, yes, Jakey,
And Theodore.
And yes, and Teddy and Theodore, yes, and Grace and Joyce
and Betty
and whatever. Yeah, it's really.
I can
really
just get off the top of the names of all of my students.
Listen, I was a mashgiach for actually, the people that send their kids to your school.
Yep.
In Mexico a few years ago, on Pesach. And I was like, if somebody didn't tell me that these people are Jewish, I would think that they're Italians from Brooklyn.
Even the way they wear a suit, like
it's
wear a suit.
It's really funny. I don't know. I was just like, it was amusing. Actually, they're the nicest people ever. They're very, very nice people. Very nice people. There was a Moroccan guy who brought an Aron HaKodesh. He made a shul in a part of the resort. They basically blocked out this whole resort. They brought in this rabbi from YU. He's a Sephardi Egyptian rabbi. You know the person from YU. And we had nice minyanim. It was actually really interesting. The guy was like selling aliyah, and these guys were like, he was announcing how much each guy paid for the aliyahs, and they were like, no, can you not announce these thousands of dollars, how much we paid for these aliyahs, and like this tzedakah? They're just like, no, dude, like, no, shut up. And he's like announcing, whatever, Gindi paid $50,000. This is the guy paid $100,000. Like, I'm like, wow, these guys are, me and our friend Roy were standing there like, damn, man, like, And these guys sell schmatas for a living. Like, man, how can we get into this business?
מתנדב מיוחד לבית הכנסת.
I was like, what the heck? Anyway, Baruch Hashem, man. Everybody should be.
I mean, this is very basic, right? This is like entry level, but
Yeah.
it smells.
Listen, Barkon can be good.
It smells kind of perky and saturated.
You know what it is? I have two friends. You know what they do? They take these entry level wines like Barkon and Vision and all these things, and they just keep them for 2 years, or even a year.
Will they still be?
What's up?
Look, this is 2017.
And they end up being incredible.
So this was only on the shelves from last year. I mean, no, 2 years. Oh my gosh, time flies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this wine is, it doesn't smell good.
Really? Maybe it's just a bad bottle. Maybe it got corked.
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I got this yesterday at Liquors Galore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just give it a few minutes. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes Barkon, it could be a little bit tangy once you open it. It needs to breathe. It could be a little bit heavy. Barkon. It's an industrial winery. They make millions of bottles. It's the wine that people bring, for their friends for like
clear it out a little bit. Yeah, like you get a case of these just to give when you go somewhere for Shabbat. So it's something that if they open it, you won't be embarrassed. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's not too risky.
Yeah, it's not anything crazy.
Look, if I wasn't, being very thrifty now because of the situation, I would probably buy a case of these just so I have for gifts to go for Shabbat,
Yes.
Okay, it's cleared out a little bit.
Oh, man.
It's not bad.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a decent wine. It's not horrific. Like I've had like very few terrible Israeli wines. I mean, there are some very mediocre ones. They're still drinkable. I'm trying to think of like what's like terrible. I don't know. There's not like I don't think I've had. There's a lot of good. This is like a really good bang for the buck wine. The one I'm having now.
Mm-hmm.
Yogev, the Yogev that we always had. All these different Yogevs, Binyamino, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
$17 bottle of wine for like and you get like it's a really nice taste.
This is the Shiloh. Speaking of Shiloh, this is the Shiloh wine you got me. Yeah.
Nice. So what do you think it's gonna be, man? How do you think this whole thing is gonna wind down? You think it's gonna last for a year and a half, like they're saying?
Wind down.
How do you think it's gonna wind down? Wind down.
I'm glad I didn't have to repeat that terrible pun.
Yeah.
You know what? I really want to meditate on this. I need to meditate on this. I've heard people say different things about unity and all the old jazz. I mean, how it's really accountability. You still have some a-holes out there who are posing as people coming to clean your house and they come and rob you. Like you have some really bad people out there.
Yeah.
Really
Not just clean your house. They're posing as hi, we're here with testing kits. Please give us your social security number. This and that.
Right.
That's great.
It's just awful how bad people are. I mean, people are really bad.
Yep.
You also have what's it called? There was a great meme in English. Ugh, I just forgot what it was. It was a really good one. Oh my, it was a really, really good one. Slipped my mind. Anyway, yeah, but these memes are really ridiculous.
Listen, this is bringing out the humor. People have to laugh. This is how people survive. The Jewish people.
Yeah,
case in
when
point.
you're telling your grandkids about the coronavirus,
Oh my God.
it's like all these stories. Like Johnny just finished opening the last roll of toilet paper in the year 2050. That his parents say. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What do you think of my theory about toilet paper? This is my theory.
Yes.
Why is the world hoarding toilet paper? Because Hashem is preparing us for the Korban Pesach, right? The temple and the Korban Pesach, and also what are we going to eat at that time? We're going to eat matzah. And what happens after matzah takes a long time to digest? And what happens after it finally digests?
Tzvi?
Yes.
No. Just no. Sorry, no.
You know what? I told this to my other Cohen friend, and he really liked it, and he said I should post it. So there's a split in the Cohen community.
Are you telling me
About my temple joke?
that God inflicted the world with corona so that we will be able to poop?
Yes. No, God is whatever. I don't know. I just reverse engineered our toilet paper problem. Okay, so I'm doing my best here.
That's a lot of crap.
Exactly, that's a whole load of crap. But you know what?
And if the Korban Pesach was to eat a bull, I would say that's a lot of bull.
I actually want to make an ad for Amihai Lurie about the Shiloh Shore, and I want to say, Shiloh Shore, that's no bull. Yeah, that's no bull.
Just have a special deal where you buy a case and you get a case of toilet paper.
Exactly, and then you could say save your bull for someone else, something like that. Your bull S.
Yeah.
For someone else.
Or this is BS.
Mm-hmm.
Best Shiloh. Shiloh Bull, the BS.
Best Shiloh. Yeah.
No,
there's a lot. There's a lot we can do. There's a lot we can do with this.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're making a cross stick with this. Let's just think about how many jokes you can do with Shore.
Let's call the Charmin Company, and we'll powwow with them. We'll have a whole.
What is the Charmin Company? Forgive
Charmin,
me.
the guy that make the toilet paper. Charmin.
Oh, by the way, who got married today?
Who?
Ilana.
Oh, she got married today? I know she was engaged.
I saw that it was streamed live.
Wow. Very nice. That is Baruch Hashem, man. That's a big.
One of the 10 people at the wedding to hold the camera up.
That's a big mazel tov, I gotta say. That's a big mazel tov to her, and it's a big.
And also, Zisel Devora got engaged to that guy who we met at
correct.
Zohar, right? You know Zohar beforehand.
Correct.
I saw the pictures like today something happened. I don't know.
We saw him at Rabbi Nindishu, but then I also saw him in Israel at a meal.
So you met him. I also met him in Israel.
Oh, you're disconnected. Yeah, and then he came back to the States.
Mm-hmm. So let's think.
Let's think.
Bull, Shiloh is already here. Bull, Shiloh, that's BS, and you give it together with toilet paper. You have a special holiday roll. Yes.
No, I just tell people save your BS for someone who cares, something like that.
Can you do anything with
or we're here to pick up all your BS, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I still hold by my theory of the Korban Pesach theory, and my other Cohen friend agrees. And there's gonna be a schism in the Cohen community when this all comes to a head.
A schisma.
When this all comes to the head. By the way, your connection's a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe the virus is doing something.
It's taking over the fiber optics. Yeah.
Yes. Fibers are very good for your digestion, just so you know.
Or maybe Hashem doesn't want us to know his plan about the Korban Pesach and the toilet paper. How about that? But it's not time yet.
Maybe we should go and do a little bit more shopping. The problem is I'm running out of storage space. Because my roommate thought I was going to Israel, so he just loaded up.
He just closeted you. It's like when you open the cartoons when they open the closet and everything falls out, so he just kind of stuffed you up. Listen, my roommate is in the States now. He has a whole meat freezer, and he literally, I think, saved up for the apocalypse. It's mamash and he's also a Cohen, by the way, and it's all.
As long as the electricity doesn't go out.
What?
As long as the electricity doesn't go out.
No, it's crazy. The guy's a Cohen, and it's all beef. This whole thing is stuffed with beef. And I told him, I'm like, are you?
You would like to befriend him.
Exactly, befriend. I don't know, man.
Somebody sent me the Earth before and after COVID-19. Before, the Earth is suffocating from pollution, and it's disgusting. And after, it's all green. I sent it to your WhatsApp.
Can I tell you something? Venice, Italy, for the first time in years, people can see the fish. and there's like swans and dolphins, or at least swans, swimming in the canals. And this guy tweeted out, he said, swans came from Milan, or dolphins, yeah, swans from Milan, and dolphins from, Cagliari, which is like a coastal city.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. That is really cool. Like, what do I think about this? So here's the question. Here's something from our life, which I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think we need something. We think we need a certain person or certain things matter to us.
Yep.
And when we're forced to distance ourselves from it for long enough, suddenly it doesn't matter.
Yep.
For example, my Israeli phone number, 054-452-0209.
Yeah.
I still have the SIM card. I kept on using all kind of tricks so I don't cancel it, but I pretend it was so I can hold on to it for when I come back to Israel and people who knew my number. And you know what?
Yeah.
After 2 years, to quote, what was the last line in Gone with the Wind? Frankly, I don't give a damn.
Oh, frankly, I don't give a damn. Exactly.
My dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Exactly, man. Listen, sometimes you got to get.
Maybe this will clean us from thinking we need certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't need we don't need sanity.
No. No, we don't need this. We don't need the sanity that we think is sanity. It's actually not sanity.
Maybe to get back to that human contact, which has been so missing, just in the family nucleus.
Yep.
Maybe that's something important.
Yeah, that's what people have been talking about. One of the most famous actresses in the last 30 years, Julia Roberts. You know what she posted on her Instagram the other day? It was a poem written by someone else. I don't know if she's Jewish or not Jewish. I think it was a Jewish lady, about Shabbat. This actress, Julia Roberts, has 8 million followers on Instagram. She posted a poem somebody wrote about Shabbat and what's happening now. Go on Instagram and check.
I'm going now.
Oh, you're on. I'm saying, yeah, go on.
You're on my iPad, man.
Go on,
Okay.
Julia Roberts. It's incredible.
Julia Roberts.
And then the same day, what's his name said, the Pope said, the Jews have it, the people who keep Shabbat, they're really onto
I don't really her. So wait, here it goes.
I don't either.
Is this it? Lynn Ungar?
Yeah, that's the poem. It's a very,
Roberts, this is her most recent post. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel. Cease from buying and selling. Give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing. Pray. Touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. In parentheses, you could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. This is in parentheses, meaning that this is her
connection
comment.
is skipping, my friend.
What? Yeah, no, I'm just saying that this is the parentheses are probably her comments on this poem. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your hearts. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. Lynn Unger, March 11, 2020.
Yep.
That is very cool.
There you go, my friend.
That is very nice. I'm saving that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is very, very
this,
nice.
this is I would argue that Julia Roberts is probably one of the, if somebody sees her on the street, she's one of the most famous and relevant A-list actresses in the last 30 years, posting about Shabbat on her. This is like right up there with Roseanne Barr, our friend Roseanne.
Who would have thunk? It's very interesting when you think about it. This is something which I point out on my presentation of the Byzantine period, is Jerusalem was kind of like a backwater city. It wasn't really important. I mean, Herod the Great made it important. The Roman-Jewish War, the Great Revolt, is on a really massive scale, so it became famous. But there was nothing significant about Jerusalem per se. once the Roman Empire with Constantine basically became Christian, suddenly Palestine becomes the Holy Land. It becomes the center of the world. And then you have Islam, and it's the third most important place. It's just like amazing that these probably historic coincidences suddenly turn Jerusalem into something that the world is talking about.
Yep.
And that, in a sense, sort of pulled the rug from under our feet, because now you have millions of people, much more than the Jewish population, saying this is important to us too. Right?
Correct.
So we're trying to catch up with this culture, which is much more successful than us, who for the last 2,000 years have been trash.
Yeah.
And suddenly here we are. Like, we're important again. But then again, there's other reasons why people are pulling the carpet from under our feet. Like, pretty much the country, the nation which taught the world about the concept of morality and social justice on that level is suddenly being accused of immoral.
Because what happens
Tell you
is
about morality, you know?
because we're the majority of our nation, unfortunately, the majority of Jews have a distorted.
Every once in a while,
I'm
it's
saying.
like conduit for conveying these things has already been created.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, somebody taps into it.
Correct.
Like, for example, Julia Roberts. I mean, the whole concept of Western civilization is, in a sense, an outgrowth of Judaism, in the fact that the Roman world then became the Western world and has that religion. Like, it's there,
Yeah.
right? You can talk about the Ten Commandments. You can talk about these things because people know the Bible because of the Roman Empire, which became Christian, which became the Western world. To
Correct.
make a very long story short.
Yeah.
So now that the conduit is set up, it's there. Okay, so you just plug in something that'll make people go, hey, whoa.
Listen,
The fact that it is interconnected in this way is a result of that. It's kind of cool when you get this picture.
it is cool, but it's also something that was, you want to go back further before Rome. Asaph is our twin brother, so he's always going to be in some way connected to us.
Right.
He's always going to want to be, so to speak, on our.
That wasn't felt on the world international stage in that back then.
It wasn't felt.
Nothing.
No, but
Back was nothing.
what I'm saying is but what I'm saying is now you can so to speak, and look in hindsight, and you can see that even when we were among them, they were persecuting us, in Europe and in all these places. Why? Because they sensed that, okay, like we, at the end of the day, Jerusalem and in our land, we are still kind of the, I guess, I don't know what term to use. We're still, so to speak, the center of the universe's eye, and it's important how we are behaving. It's important that we are, let's say if we're the heads of these governments and whatever it is, even now, you see this Mnuchin guy. He's the Secretary of Treasury. So, like, the market is hanging on his words, right? And I can only imagine there's a bunch of these people that are sitting behind the computers. Oh, another Jew, Zionist, pulling the strings of the global economy and the Federal Reserve and blah, blah, blah. This whole like, there's like this woman, what's her name? There's an actress, Rosanna Arquette. Speaking of actresses.
Who?
She mentioned that, sorry.
Which actress?
Rosanna Arquette.
Dude, you need to sneeze into your elbow. Didn't you hear the CDC's?
Exactly. Yeah. And she mentioned that something like Israel knew about the coronavirus and they didn't tell anybody or something like that. And I'm just like, and I'm like reading that, and I'm just like, is this the year 1351? Is this like, are we in the year, like, is this like the plagues again? And they're like, but then you realize it's like it's something that goes back to Asaph and Yaakov. It's an old story, and it goes to what you're saying. Now that they see that we have Jerusalem and we're back, and it's like, oh, wait a second, Yaakov Yaakov went home, and he's trying to become Israel. He's not Yaakov anymore. He wants to be Israel. Wait a minute.
This might be a little bit too much for I don't know who's watching this and who's listening. It's a bit philosophical, but I was talking with Peter.
Okay.
And we've been 20 seconds. It's going to end because our time is up. We'll start a new one. Hang on.
All
I'm
right.
going to save it and start a new one.
Sure.
Here we go.